right, it's time to try to remove the clutch. I got a big crescent wrench on it. They do have special tools for this, but this is what I grabbed. And I'm gonna see if I can just smack it with the hammer really sharp and quick and see if I can break it loose. Yep, and there it is. All right. And then you just spin it off. All right, good. So it's down there. Now I can start removing the fan shroud bolts. There should be one on each side. Right there. And the bottom side is a clip. There's a clip down there. So two 10mm bolts. Let's get them off. All right, removing the bracket. 19 millimeter bolt. Right there on the very bottom of the shield. Just one bolt you have to deal with. You just pull that out. You pull it off of this notch, and you can remove the shield, okay? We're going to set it down here with everything else. We're going to keep our bolts. We're just going to keep our bolt there. It's a big one. All right, y'all. We're getting there. So all I got to do is take out one more bolt out of the power steering, and I can get it out of the way. And then we're going to focus on the valve covers. Hey guys, it's Hayes. Jackson, Mississippi. Hayes Mobile Auto Repair. All right, it's Hayes Mobile Auto Repair here. We just recently bought a truck right here, a 2005 F-150. It's got some engine problems, and we're going to see if we can take care of this, or I'm going to be replacing this motor here. I'll show you what it sounds like. Ooh, it's hot, y'all. It's like 100 degrees today. I'll show you what it sounds like. I know I'm hearing the timing chain. He ran it out of oil, completely out of oil, he tells me. That's a problem. A piece of the flywheel is missing. All right, there you guys hear it. Pretty loud. I'm hearing more than just timing chain. So we're going to see if we can repair this motor, or I'm going to be picking up a motor next week. These motors are like $2,500, low mileage. I found a motor for $2,500 with 65,000 miles on it. So I'm hearing more than just timing chain, but we're going to dig into it, rip them front covers off, and let's see what we can find. I'm sorry, 8mm bolts. 8mm. All right, just a few minutes into the job, and I'm already getting a little nagged out. But you know, that's rust water is all that is. It's just rusty water. There's no antifreeze in it. So, all right. I hope I don't have to replace the motor, but you know, I know it's just rusty water, but that just shows you, you know, they didn't take care of the truck, at least the motor side of it, because the truck is beautiful inside. Looks good outside. But I don't know. Let's keep moving. All right, it's time to try to remove the clutch. I got a big crescent wrench on it. They do have special tools for this, but this is what I grabbed. And I'm gonna see if I can just smack it with the hammer really sharp and quick and see if I can break it loose. Yep, and there it is. All right. And then you just spin it off. All right, good. So it's down there. Now I can start removing the fan shroud bolts. There should be one on each side. Right there. And the bottom side is a clip. There's a clip down there. So two 10mm bolts. Let's get them off. I'm going to go ahead and remove this upper radiator hose completely. Because that fan shroud is kind of grabbing it. So I'm going to remove it. Rust water. All right. Hose is off. Now grab the fan shroud, and get it all out together. All right, we got it. Not a problem. Get it off the air compressor and slip it through. All right, we got all that off in what, 15 minutes. So we're moving along. Now comes the more difficult stuff. It's going to be fun. We're going to take our time. We're going to do it right. We're going to make sure everything is clean, make sure everything is right, make sure everything is tight. All right. So, all right, seems like it's going to come off easy for me. All right, good. Water pump pulley. I'm putting a new water pump on it too if I decide I'm not going to get a motor. So everything is going to be new. Start taking off these pulleys right here. At least this one right here. We're going to have to take off the power steering pump. We can leave the alternator where it is. I'm going to take off these pulleys, take off all the pulleys, even the harmonic balancer. Alright, the harmonic balancer is going to be an 18mm. I'm going to put my air gun on it. Okay, once you get your puller on there, you want to get your little, your little cone. That way that fits right on the, right there inside the shaft. Because you're just pulling off the pulley, you're not pulling that shaft off, right? So this is just going to keep it still, and it's going to pull the pulley off. Okay, just want to make sure they're all pretty even. All right, that should be pretty even. I'll check it. And as you see, that's pretty even. So now I can go ahead and screw this thing back in there. Alright. It's going to press against the crankshaft and it's going to pull that pulley right out of there. Okay, you guys got the point? Oh. And it's off. All right, woohoo! Before we go any further, this is going to be what I'm thinking I'm going to find when I pull this cover off. On this side over here, on the dry passenger side, I believe I got some worn out guides. Probably the plastic is going to be completely gone, or at least most of it gone, and that chain slapping. I'm also going to you know, I'm gonna guess that my tensioner is completely failed. That's what I'm thinking it's gonna be, but we'll find out shortly. All right, we're gonna remove the power steering hose that I got pulled up here. I'm gonna remove it from down here. Just pull it off, and that way you can get closer to those nuts, that bolt there and a bolt there, and there's another one on the bottom we got to get. So let's go ahead and remove those two 10mm bolts. Use a ratcheting wrench on the back side. Let me get you some better light over here. There's a nut bolt there and there's a bolt here. I use a ratcheting wrench on this one, and on this one, I mean, you can do the same thing. All right, guys, it's time to get that lower power steering bolt off. So you're gonna have to jack it up. It's not hard. You just can't be lazy and not want to jack up something. You got to get it. You got to get it. You got to do what you got to do. All right. All right. Lower power steering. All right. There is the bolt. There's the power steering pump right there. So all I got to do is pop this off, and you have access to the power steering pump. Not a real big deal. Millimeter in right here, so yeah, it's tight, but not tight enough because I'm gonna get it off. Once you break it a couple times, once you turn it a little bit, it'll come out easy. There we go. There we go. All right. Now I don't need the wrench anymore, I don't think. You got the right tools, you can get this stuff off. Yeah. Just get you some tools. Try to tell people, get your little toolbox and put it in the back of your car. You know, something. Carry some kind of tool. Some kind of tools. You know, go to Walmart and get you a little cheap set. All right, it's off. And there it is, y'all. We're separated. And that's all we got to do. We're going to leave that bolt in the power steering pump. I'm just going to leave it like that. We're separated. Okay, so power steering pump is off. And the reason you got to take that power steering pump off is because you got timing cover bolts that are behind it. Okay, and that's the reason why. So we're about ready. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and unplug my camshaft sensor connectors. Okay. All right. Let's get this solenoid unplugged. Kind of want to push down on it. All right. All right, there we go. One unplugged. Go ahead and plug this injector. I mean the coil. And there's a wire on this. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. Now what else we got I can take off? Let's take off the back coil pack. I got to charge my light up and disconnect whatever this is. Let me charge my light up. Anyways, we're going to disconnect all these harnesses right over here, okay? All right, we're disconnecting the injector over here now. All right, we got almost everything. We're going to disconnect the harness clip. All right, so now, as you see, we got the valve cover exposed. And I'm just going to keep this harness out of the way the best I can without, you know, pulling and tugging too damn much. You know what I mean? You don't want to put this motor back together again and find out that you broke a wire on your, you know, when you was moving the harness around and tugging on the harness. I've seen it happen too many times. So just be gentle with the harness, okay? You know, get it out of your way. Just be gentle with it. And get this EGR tube out of the way for the vacuum booster pipe. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Okay, like that. Man, that's good. All right, cool. So, as you see, we got it all cleared away on this. Now I'm going to pull out the coil packs. Just going to get them all the way out. 7mm socket on those. And we'll pull this bad boy out and then get the bolts out all the way around it. And they look like they're 8mm all the way around. Are those 8? I think they're 8mm all the way around. Alright, it's a good idea to blow out all that trash and dirt and grime out from the top of the valve cover, and there's a lot of it in there. So let's blow that shit out of there. You're just trying to minimize the amount of dirt that actually falls inside the motor when you remove the valve cover. Just gonna bend it back just a little bit. Bend that oil stick back just a little bit without breaking it. And there is my valve cover. All right. It's got a nice color to it. There's no abnormal wear on the cams, on the lobes. It looks pretty good. It's a nice color. All right, good. I'm gonna be replacing both solenoids. Everything is gonna be new on this. Now we can start on doing this cluster over here. And we're going to start by removing the battery, disconnect the battery, and now I'm messing with electrical stuff because I'm going to be removing this. So I'm going to disconnect my battery at this time, okay? Because I'm not a robot. So I'm taking it off now. All right, got the computer out. I put the bolts right back where they belong. Go ahead and pull the bracket off too. And you know what? This is just a little advice. Since you're saving all this money, you're doing it yourself, so you're saving some money, no doubt. Get you one of these. Get you, I don't care, it don't gotta be this brand, but get you a good impact, electric impact. And man, it's gonna speed up your time by half. You'll get the job done in half the time. Okay? So I got two more to go. You know, just picture yourself with a ratchet, click, 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 click. All right, it's gonna take you forever. Okay, so get you one of these, and you can take out 10 bolts in 30 seconds. Valve cover bolts, there's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying. All right, so bam, and you're done. And you can move on to bigger and better things. All right. And keep all my bolts where they belong. Let's go ahead and screw them back in the hole where they go. Okay. And I'm going to show you something in a minute. This is going to save so much time, y'all. Just don't throw the bolts in a pile, especially when you do big jobs. You want to try to keep everything together. Now let's look at our tray now. Let's see what we got in our tray. Look, that's all we have in our tray. We have our battery hold down. We have clips. Let's go to my other tray over here. See how many bolts we have in this tray. That's it. That's all we have. Power steering bolts. The bracket for the power steering bracket. I don't remember at this time. And power steering stuff. That's all we have. Everything else is in brackets, in the firewall where they go, in the valve cover, in our pumps and stuff down there, okay? Everything is together. That way when you put yours back together again, you are ready to go and you know where everything is. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's remove, same procedure as this side. Remove all your hoses and stuff. And we're even going to remove our, we're going to lose our Freon, but we're going to go ahead and, Freon's like $7 a can, so, and you can charge it up yourself with a $12 hose if you don't have a gauge set or another way to fill it. So we're going to remove it, $7 a can. It's going to save me a big headache, so I'm removing everything. I'm going to remove it from back there. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm taking all this out because I want that valve cover to come out nice. All right, guys, this is the dryer. I removed it, okay? Let me show you how I did it. I got these special, you can buy these at the parts store. They're just like little, you know, disconnect tools. I got one off. I'm gonna go ahead and do that one as well. I don't even know if I have to do that one. But I'm gonna do it. I don't have but maybe 3 inches of clearance here, so they're not that hard to remove most of the time. So let me go ahead and do it on camera for you. You do have to take out the battery box, okay? If you think you ain't gotta take the battery box off, you're wrong. You will have to take the battery box out because the dryer has that lip on it, that part right there. You're not going to be able to get it past that battery box, so you're going to have to remove the battery box. All right, so let's get in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip this tool around there. All right, I think that's a little bit smaller than my other one. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller, so let me get another size. It might be this size. All right. Yeah, that fits. You're just gonna push it in until you hear the snap on both sides. And you're just gonna simply pull it out. And that's it. Okay, make sure you get your tool back and put it away so you'll have it for the next job. Okay, but you don't need the tool no more. That's all you need it for. Now you can get this hose out of the way a little bit anyways. So at least you can move it now, you see? So I'm just going to leave it there. You can disconnect it if you wanted to. That hose is going down here. There's an orifice tube in here. I might just go ahead and do that so I can change the orifice tube while I'm in here. But, you know, that's up to you. I'm going to disconnect it and I'm going to change the orifice tube as well. Since when I get this back together again, I am going to, you know, I'm going to vacuum out the AC and charge it up and get it really nice and cold in here. All right. So this is my truck. All right, let's take a look at some of these bolts down here. There's one right there on the side. You see that one right there? 18 millimeter on that side. Let's go around to the bottom. You follow it up, and on the AC line. There's a bracket on it, and that's the bracket. There's a 13mm nut on that, and then you'll have to pull it off of that nut so you can get to that nut right there, or that stud. Okay, you get those off. Another side note, on the very top of the motor, on both sides, the right and the left, you'll have these kind of studs on both sides. Okay, they look like that. All the other ones are normal bolts. Okay, so you got 1 oddball, 2 oddball, and 3 oddball. All right, I don't see any more. Okay, so all we got to do now is take these, oh, and there's another kind of oddball right there. All right, and you got one on this side too, brackets for the cooling line, for the trans line, okay? And you remove those, and I think there's 3 bolts down on the bottom. Let me see. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4 bolts on the bottom of this one. There's 4 bolts on the bottom. They feel like 13s. All right, so let's get it off. It's gonna take them all the way out, but I'm gonna leave them in the holes. All right. I seriously recommend you guys get some kind of electric tool to do this job. You're saving all that money, man. You might as well spend $100 and get you a good one. Don't get one of them cheap ones. You're just gonna piss yourself off. The big oddball one, 15/16 on this one. All right, so good. Yeah, that's a big boy right there, 15/16. Here's my new, this is my timing cover bolts. All right, those are, you know, little stuff along the way, power steering, and we got, you know, just a couple bolts in there. So there's not a lot of bolts in these, but we are going to have some timing cover bolts. But excuse me, that's all. So we're about there, y'all. Let's get these out of here. All these other bolts, not these 2, but all the other ones around there, they're all the same size bolts, so you don't have to worry about, oh man, this one's shorter, this one's longer. They're all the same size. The ones on the top are different, and the ones on the bottom are different. Okay, and the ones underneath the pan are different. But all the other ones are the same size, and there's quite a few of them. All right, let's get the let's get those bolts out of the oil pan and the timing cover, and we'll pop this thing out of there. All right, guys, this is the moment of truth right here. Well, it ain't the moment of truth, but we're gonna pull this damn cover off. Now, if you look down right there, there's a little triangle thing. All right, that little point, where's my finger? Right there, you can actually get your pry bar in that spot right there, and you can pry slowly and carefully, because you don't want to break that cover. Make sure there's no more bolts in there. You don't want to buy another timing cover because you were too rough on it, you know what I mean? So just take it slow. You know what? I think I got another bolt in there. That's why you got to take it slow. I have another bolt. The one because I was doing the video, I didn't take that bolt out. All right, it's kind of hiding, and I didn't take that one out either. So let's get those out of there. Ah, you see how easy it moves now? All right, there we go. It's like 10 o'clock tonight. I'm working on a Sunday. We're hearing pieces fall out of there already. See that broken piece right there? Oh, you hear them hitting the ground? Yeah, look at all that. Sorry about that. I covered the camera up. Alright, what's holding me? Still got pieces falling out. Alright. Looks like that guide is completely gone on that side. Anyways, we'll look at it. Let me get this cover off. Alright, I apologize. It's late. I'm tired. Before you start pulling that crank sensor off like a madman, you might want to unplug the crank sensor connector right there, okay? And yeah, so let me unplug that and that cover will come right off. My apologies. Alright, and here's some more carnage down here. We got pieces in the oil pan. I may even have to take out, I am going to have to take out the oil pan. Yeah, I'm pulling out pieces of the guide. I knew I heard something rattling around in there, in the motor. I'm going to throw them on the ground and I'm going to put the pieces together, see if I can come up with, hell, I got to come up with everything. I got the entire guide. I got the entire guide inside that oil pan now, and it's probably clogged up the strainer. So I'm going to have to remove the oil pan as well on this job. I'm sure I got metal shavings in the oil too. Matter of fact, I'm positive I do. It'll look like glitter. Yeah, all that is shavings, you see. All that glittery thing. So, I'll drain the oil tomorrow and we'll take a look at the oil too. Alright guys, good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's time to look at the carnage. Alright, so we have a guide over here. That chain is actually tight, okay? The guide is missing right here. The bolts completely just came out, and of course this chain is loose. All right, I'm looking at the tensioner right now. It's got a little pressure on it. All right. That one has a lot of pressure on it. So we got a failed tensioner. Yeah. That chain is like super tight. I can't even get that tensioner to move. It's like locked in the out position or something. I should be able to move it a little bit. Okay. But I can't move that one at all. That one's like locked up. Alright. So everything is going to be new. I'm getting new phasers. These are phasers. I'm getting new phasers, new chains, new guides, new tensioners. New lower sprocket, and notice this when you pull it off, you should see front here somewhere. Yeah, there it is right there. So make sure when you install this that you do see front, okay? And it's on a keyway. It's on the Woodruff key. You just put it on there like that when you're done, when you're ready to install. So let me put this in a safe spot in my timing cover bucket. Okay? And that's it, y'all. I am going to pause this for tonight. And alright, remove all the spark plugs because it's a good idea to change them if you're doing this kind of work. And let's go ahead and remove the tensioner. there's no bolts. I think I got 3 of them up there. Alright, that's good. Remove this tensioner. And we're going to remove everything. We're even going to put new phasers on. So we're going to do a complete timing job. Water pump, everything. Alright guys, I'm still out here. I just went ahead and covered everything up. Stuffed something in the spark plug hole since I got all the plugs out of there. Don't want nothing to fall in that hole. And then you put everything back together again, and then you got to replace the motor for real this time. So make sure nothing falls inside the motor, inside the spark plug holes, or even down in the valve cover. So you want to be very careful, okay? I got the camshafts out already. I did find one little problem, and I'll probably show you tomorrow. It was on this cam. There was, yeah, it was right there. There's some ridges on that. When all that stuff on the timing belt, all that grit, all that metal shavings, they get up in here, because that's where the oil passage is, and it started chewing up one of my caps. Let me show you, the worst one. Yeah, there's a good one, you can see it. So you start hearing that noise, you see it just chewed it up. This is the only one really that got chewed up this bad. So, and you see all these holes. Let me show you out. Check this out. This is the tensioners, right? I push it on the table. Yeah. That's as far as I can get it in there. That's bad. There's my other one. This is actually the messed up side, the passenger side. So that's working okay, but this one is, that's it. That's all you get. So we got some fill. This is all that we have. That's all the pieces that we found. This is what it should look like, and this is what we retrieved. So we got quite a bit to locate. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pieces that are in the engine, that are in the oil pan. So without a doubt, I will be removing the oil pan as well, replacing the pickup tube and the oil pan gasket, etc., etc. Okay, this is going to be a lengthy job, but we got the hood closed. I'm going in the house. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'll see y'all next time.